This video we're going to go through the process and review of the invoice history. By selecting the Transaction tab, we select Invoice History. These are invoices and returns that have been done previously, and here are the invoices. As you can see, they list each one. The red check here means it's a return. So going down through these lists, we can say, I want to search by an invoice number. And that's what this invoices are currently right now, by invoice number. I can also, because Casavilla is the customer I've highlighted, I can select customer, and I'll see all my Casavilla. I can also search by the customer's purchase order number. This is their PO number here. I can search by serial numbers. If we sold them items with serial numbers, we would see those here. And we can also look at original order numbers, our order numbers, and what invoice that order number ended up being. So we have these items here. Selecting Void PO will only allow us to void the purchase order if we have not balanced our register. If we have balanced our register and we want to try to void it the next day, we cannot do that. All we can do is a return, and that'll give the customer credit and put the inventory back in stock. We can email a copy of this invoice by clicking the email and then putting in what the email address is and the person's name, and that will allow us to send a copy of that paid invoice, or not paid, but a copy of the invoice. If I wish to clone this item, I can click clone, and this was the original customer. I can turn it into a customer sale, and it'll prompt me for who the customer is, and it'll fill in all the line items that I sold on the original sale. Quick sale is the same thing, only I don't have to declare a customer. Keep original customer is I'm selling it to them again from the original customer. So we can print and just go to the default, no packing slip, preview, and here's the invoice we originally sent to the customer. Shows a check number that he paid. Here's a check number, here's the amount he paid, and how much we received. Okay, down below here, looking here, it says this is the time and the day that we sold this item at 2:21 on 5/11. Here's the cashier. This is a register the cashier was working at the counter. That's the terms we gave him. Sales ID was the primary salesperson for this customer. There was no PO given to us by the customer, and this was not converted from a sales order. You could see it was paid by this check, and this was the Cuyahoga sales tax we charged. When you look at these things, you can find things that are, like in this instance, these items, we converted this from this sales order. Okay, looking at detail, this is our bill to and our ship to. This was a drop ship. Any notes? Any specific prompts on this invoice? Transaction log shows Dan converted an invoice from an order, opened up the cash drawer, put the cash in, and completed the invoice. If there was any service done, there's no service tracking. Let's see if we can find one with some service. No service. These would be any documents. If we wanted to scan in any documents, we would attach that to those invoices. Get down here, it's more items. Here is a invoice total for this particular invoice, and the total no tax, and how much sales tax. Then on this side over here, we see we have the invoice number, the PO number, the date it was done. This was the account. This is the credit limit at that customer. Our lookup code. Other information, where it's going to, who's supposed to get it. What the primary SKU is, the stock ID. Volwrap is my primary vendor on this particular item. How many we have available in stock. So this panel is going to give us a lot of the information, and it's consolidated on one invoice history screen. So that's a complete view and map of how the invoice history retains all its data, and many of the reports get their information from the invoice history database.